Hey, good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming to DevNet. And I'm sure you've been here before in the past several days, but we are almost at the end of the conference, and thanks for spending the time here. So before we begin, I just want you all to remember and keep in mind two things: gold mine and jewelry shop. And I'll explain why in the course of the session. So in this session, I'm excited to introduce you two new offers from DevNet, Code Exchange and Ecosystem Exchange. And we'll demonstrate how, through key features, how easy and quick it is to find the code and solutions that you need, right? So my name is Niraj Mahajani. I'm a business development manager for DevNet, and we run a program called Solutions Plus, and I'll explain what Solutions Plus is shortly here. So for the agenda today, we'll do a deep dive into Code Exchange and then Ecosystem Exchange. I'm going to run through some demos, and we're going to have some time at the end for question and answers, but please feel free to ask me any questions during the course of the session. I'll be happy to answer them for you right there. And then we'll wrap it up. So DevNet Exchange, the main message that I have for y'all is that DevNet Exchange is a platform that helps making the connections between Cisco's customers, partners, and developers. So essentially, it's connecting, on the business side, it's connecting the buyers to the customers and to the sellers. And on the developer side, it's connecting the creators of code to the consumers of code. So that's Ecosystem Exchange. So we all know that there's a ton of information, a lot of source code submitted by millions of users. And there's so many solutions built on Cisco's platforms across the spectrum, right? But how do you know which one to find? And essentially, there's a gold mine, what we have. But how do you know which one is the right one for you? So that's where DevNet Exchange comes in. And our vision for DevNet was like a jewelry store. So we collect everything, it's curated, and it's under one umbrella. So that was our vision for creating DevNet Exchange. So let's get into Code Exchange. So as I mentioned, lots of code repositories, samples out there, but it's hard to discover and find the right one that you're looking for. So essentially, Code Exchange, the way we did it is an online curated list of code repositories submitted by Cisco's engineering teams, community developers, ISV partners, and many of them. So it becomes easy for anyone looking for the code that you need for a particular Cisco technology to use it there. So the process is pretty easy, and I'm going to be showing all this in a live demo shortly. So most developers have their code repositories in GitHub, for example. So all you need is that URL. You go in Code Exchange and submit a very short form, submit the URL, check which Cisco technology it relates to, and give your permission to let us publish it on Code Exchange, right? So once it's submitted, the Cisco DevNet staff will approve it, and the engine, there's an analytical engine that will run some scoring analysis and give it a score. Each repo will get a score, and I'll explain what that score is about. And that score for each repository helps the engine auto-recommend the code that you need, and also helps Cisco staff to recommend any code that what you're looking for. So we'll go through this in the demo that I'm going to be showing you. So the score is based on a few criteria, right? So first, how many stars this repo has on GitHub? How many people are watching that repo? And this contributor has made how many other contributions? The quality of README. When was this last updated? Has it been updated frequently or not? And then finally, does it have a valid license? So that makes up the score, and each repo is given a score, and that helps, as I mentioned, to auto-recommend based on what you're looking for. So out of the many features, I'm going to highlight 4 main features of Code Exchange. Easy access, and what I mean by easy access is all you have to do is just go to developer.cisco.com/exchange, go into Code Exchange, start typing or on keywords, or use filters like programming language, which programming language you're looking for, or which Cisco technology you're looking for. Contribution is easy, as you'll see in the demo. It's as simple as submitting a simple form. And of course, all this is curated list, meaning DevNet staff has looked at the repo, a score has been assigned, so you know it's quality, right? So to summarize Code Exchange, it's an online curated list of code repositories submitted by Cisco engineering teams, partners, individual developers, etc. It becomes very quick and easy to find the exact code sample or repo that you're looking for. And obviously, the benefits, that's a no-brainer, right? Cisco customers benefit, ISV developers benefit because it can jumpstart their development efforts or integrations. And of course, individual developers benefit because it helps them to build and amplify their own brand. So that was Code Exchange. Now, if you look at the journey, it usually begins with an idea, right? So let's say I get an idea. I want to build a bot on WebEx Teams. So WebEx Teams part of Cisco, so naturally I would go to DevNet, where I find learning courses, learning labs. I'll find APIs for WebEx Teams, reference documents. So I learn, then I grab some code repositories related to WebEx Teams, and I build the solution. And I test the solution using DevNet's Sandbox, which to learn anything about Sandbox, please stop by the Start Now booth and you'll know what I mean here. So now you have the code, now you have your solution, and you want to take that to market. How do you do that? Well, that's where Ecosystem Exchange comes in. So Ecosystem Exchange is a platform that connects the global ecosystem of Cisco's partners, whether it be independent software vendors, independent hardware vendors, system integrators, who are building solutions on Cisco's APIs, and it connects them to customers who want to leverage this solution to deliver their business outcomes, right? The other reason why we built Ecosystem Exchange is, as you all know, that Cisco has many different businesses. There's WebEx, ACI, data center, and so on. And most of them have their own ecosystem, and for the right reasons. But there wasn't a place where you could go in one place to find anything that you need, any solutions around Cisco's APIs or platforms in one place. So that's why we built Ecosystem Exchange, which is an aggregated list of all the solutions built by all of Cisco's ecosystem partners, be it ISVs or system integrators. So it all comes under one big umbrella called Ecosystem Exchange. So this is a place where you can take a solution to market fast, right? So similarly, like the Code Exchange, I'm going to highlight 4 main features of Ecosystem Exchange. Free access, easy access. So just go to developer.cisco.com and start typing your keyword, or you can use filters like verticals, industry, Cisco technology, find the right solution that you need. Submission is pretty easy, and I'm going to show you through the demo what I mean. And another good feature is featured categories, featured solutions. These are enhanced presences on the exchange, and you'll see how good this all looks, right? To summarize Ecosystem Exchange, it's an aggregated view of all of Cisco's solutions, of all of solutions built on Cisco's technology. And obviously, Cisco's customers benefit because usually they're looking for integrations. Channel partners benefit because they want to extend the deal size for their customers. And ISVs, obviously, they benefit because they get to sell and market their solutions to the Cisco's buyer community, right? So going back to the picture of the idea, and then you go to DevNet, you learn, you build your solution, and now you put it on the Ecosystem Exchange. So that sort of completes the whole picture, right? So from engineering to business, this is where DevNet and DevNet Exchange comes in place. So any questions around ecosystem exchange, code exchange before we move on to demos? Okay, so let's go on to demos, and I'm going to move over. So this is our landing page of the combined exchange, and this shows how many code repos. Right now we have over 330, 350 code repositories, over 1,500 solutions, actual pre-built solutions ready for the enterprise usage in the ecosystem catalog. So these are the two exchanges here, and on this page we also showcase use cases. For example, this one, right, from Alencia. So this is a solution that they submitted in the ecosystem exchange. This is the code repositories that were used as sample code, and so on. And on this page also we show how many repos, how many solutions by product category, by technology, and by industry. So the URL again here is developer.cisco.com, and from there you can go to exchange or /exchange. And we also feature coders and solutions on here. So that's another great place for to amplify your brand, right? So let's head over to the ecosystem exchange. So this is the landing page. So as I mentioned in key features, right, you can either start typing your keywords, or these are suggested searches based on what users have searched before. This is a section for featured solution showcase. So we spoke about Alencia earlier. So if I click this, you can see how beautiful this entire story is presented here. This is an actual customer quote. It also shows you which Cisco APIs were used for building this solution. Also tells how many solutions were deployed in the industry. Talks about the business problem, how Alencia solves that problem using the APIs and how they built their solution. It also gives an overview of the architecture that they used. And then we take it further by clicking here. You can check out the docs and tools that were available to create this solution that Alencia did, right? So, oops, sorry. So the next section on ecosystem exchange is featured categories. So these are based on some algorithms, which one people are looking at more. So Cisco WebEx, for example, Kinetic, data center. So if I go to Cisco WebEx, I can browse all the listings here, and each one of them, they get their page, description, all those good things there. The next section is Solutions Plus. So remember I said I work for DevNet, and we run a program called Solutions Plus. So Solutions Plus is an ecosystem program that essentially puts third-party solutions, ISV solutions, onto Cisco's price list. So customers and resale partners, they can buy these partner solutions from Cisco. So that's a huge advantage. And what's the advantage for the ISV is that now all of a sudden you have Cisco's muscle, entire sales force behind this to sell that. And the benefit for Cisco is obviously we put them on the price list because these are sales enablers, right? So it pulls through a lot of Cisco's gear as well. So again, this is filtered by technology and region. So these solutions, they have to go through IVT, which means interop verification testing, and they earn a Cisco compatible logo for that. So that means Cisco has blessed this solution. So that's a prerequisite, one of the prerequisites of getting onto the price list. And then of course, we have listings by Cisco's technology areas like IoT, cloud, networking, etc. And then we also feature system, the SIs, the system integrators in this. So like I said, everything is under one umbrella. So whatever Cisco third party, you go here and you find it. Any questions before I move on to Code Exchange? Okay. So this is Code Exchange. This is the online curated list of code repositories that we brought from GitHub with the developer's permission, of course. So simple. Start typing the keywords that you want, or just go in here. So let's take a look at one. And this is also you can filter it by Cisco product categories. So let's look at this one, for example. You can see the contributor. You can go to an individual contributor and see how many repos they have submitted to this. So this contributor submitted so many, right? And we have Mr. Charles sitting with us. He's right there in that picture. So, and submission is as simple as this. So this is a submission form. Now I'm going to head over to GitHub. I must say the Wi-Fi is pretty good today. I don't know your experience, but yesterday was... Okay, so I have some sample code here. Let me see. Let me check this one. Okay, so I have a sample code here. I have a basic README, a template. I have a license. So all I do is grab this URL, go over to the Code Exchange submission form, paste the link here, and I pick the technology. Is this a Cisco repo, yes or no? I'm going to say yes, and I'm giving permission. I'm giving permission here, and I'm submitting. So what happens now is this goes back to the DevNet staff. They'll look at the repo, make sure everything is good and fine there, and approve it. And once it's approved, of course, the score is given. So this is an admin dashboard. So I see I got a score of 4, which is not that great because I just have one file there. And but I do have a license, a README file is almost there. But you should be looking for scores higher than this, obviously. So if I head over to... So this is how it's going to appear. And I just want to go back. So this is how it's going to appear after it's been approved by DevNet staff. It'll show the contributor, the owner, and the README file. And I wanted to show you one other thing. So we have this button, right? So you can take that. I can go back to my repo. And this is again about your brand, and you can use this code. So I'll just show you how this works and how this will appear in GitHub. So this is the button and this is on the GitHub side, not on the DevNet side. So this is how it's going to appear once it's approved. I'll show you history and all that. So that was... Okay, so that was Code Exchange, how to submit, how to find questions about submitting code, how, when, what. Okay. So let's go back here. Okay, so as I said, with DevNet Exchange is very powerful. That helps you discover and connect with ecosystem partners that are delivering these value-added solutions, which gives real business outcomes, right? It also builds and amplifies your personal or your company brand. And of course, it helps accelerate creation and adoption of your code and solutions using Cisco's APIs. So with that, I'm going to open up for question and answers. I know there was an opportunity, but it looks like there are no questions here. Okay, so I will, before I do have one wrap-up slide, but before that, a few housekeeping slides here. Any questions today or later, please feel free to join the discussion from the mobile app. I'm going to be putting this presentation in there, and even in the future, if you have any questions, I'm pretty responsive. So don't think Cisco Live is over. I won't answer. No, it will stay on for at least another year and then it'll go away. But please feel free to send any messages later on as well. And then I know it's been a hectic week, so I really want to thank each one of you for taking the time and spending it with me here. And I do take this really seriously, so any feedback that you have, it'll only help us make presentations better for you and bring you good content. So thank you. And finally, I want to come back to this picture. And I have two questions. So where do you want to take your gold, or where do you want to find gold? One answer, which is DevNet Exchange. Thank you. Yeah.